Okay. Continuation from the first recording. We just cut off. Something had came up, so I'm like, okay, well, something or someone don't want this something to be said, but it's going to be said regardless. Okay, you may be able to stall, but you cannot stop. However, so I was speaking of my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. And anywho, jumping into her being in the hospital before her transitioning. So it was me and my younger two. I guess my oldest one might have been in school at the time, college or maybe work. But however, I told him, we gonna surprise her because the door was open when we walked up to her door was open. And I'm like, oh, we gonna surprise her. So I said, I said, get behind me. Shh, be quiet. So I peek, my head in, and she didn't look too good. And I'm like, oh, I said, well, we're not gonna surprise her. We don't, because she don't look like she's feeling too well. So we walked on in quiet, and I'm like, hi, Grandma. She's like, hi. And she was shaking her head. And when she just shake her head, she always had this thing where she just shake her head. But close her eye. So anyway, I'm like, so grandmother, how are you feeling? She was like, I feel horrible. I'm in pain. I feel like, and I'm like, well, what's wrong? She was like, I feel like she felt like something was, she couldn't breathe, she was having a hard time breathing, and she felt like something heavy was sitting on her chest. And I said, okay. I said, have they given you anything? Are they giving you anything? Or what's going on with that? She said they were giving her treatments, but it's been a while since they gave her treatment, and she had been asking for another treatment. And for whatever reason, I'm like, okay. I said, she's like, so I'm wanting another treatment. I said, so what are they? What are they giving you? Um, and I don't think she really knew. So I called in the nurse and had a little, uh, conversation with her, asked her, what's going on, what's the update. And yeah, so come to find out they were giving her albuterol. And I'm like, okay. Um, and they were saying something else they wanted to add with that or else they wanted to give her. And I said, well, she said she had been waiting on another treatment, blah, blah, blah. And she said, yeah, we're waiting on a doctor's order. Or we have to, get a doctor's order. I said, well, okay. I said, well, can we get a doctor's order for her to have albuterol? That's kind of like the basic. And only because that's what she, had taken before. And she was like, yeah, and we wanted to increase it with this or add this with it. And I told him no. Don't add anything with it. Just give her the albuterol. And she was like, okay, we put that order in now. And I'm like, okay, thank you. She walked out the room. And then I asked my grandmother, I said, grandmother, so what did you eat today? She told me, and she had mentioned oatmeal. And I said, well, that can give you heartburn, because and that can be acid, acidic. So I told her, try, um, you know, more things that are a little bit more lighter and fluids, maybe more fluids like broths, teas, stuff like that. Even Jello, if but you know. But I said you want to kind of stay away from the heavy things. And I looked at the menu, Asked her where's her menu. Does she have one? Looked at that. Asked her when last time she eat, was she hungry or whatever. Did she want to try some broth and tea? And she was like, yeah, I tried some broth and tea. So I ordered her some broth and tea. And, so once that was ordered, I sat on the bed with her. And she was like, my back is hurting so bad. I've just been sitting, laying on my back. And I said, well, let's sit up. So I helped her sit up. And then I rubbed her back. Then she looked at me and she was like, you can rub harder. And I'm like, okay, Grandma. So I, applied a little bit more pressure. Um, and, just kind of loved on her and consoled her and was attentive to her, me and my children. And so, once her little broth and tea came, I, assisted her with, feeding her that. And then after a while, other family members started coming in. My mom and some aunts and uncles, and they brought her some ribs and greens and macaroni and cheese and trying to basically give her that. And she was like, mm-mm. And I told her, so, she just had some broth and tea. And those things may just be too heavy for her system right now. So I kind of, walked out the room because I had a phone call to take. And while they were kind of, having their time with her, then my uncle called for me and said, that my grandmother was calling for me. So I went in and I'm like, hey, Grandma, what's going on? She just wanted my presence there. So that's what it was. She didn't really want nothing. She just wanted me. She just wanted to see me there. And she wanted me near her. So, um, um, and when I left her with one of my silk scarves, my shawls, white. It was white. And it had like little pretty white beads on it, very light beads on it. And the next day, was it the next day? I believe she transitioned. And everybody, was in the hospital, sobbing and crying and everything. And I walked up to her and in the bed, I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and everybody looking, kind of like, because she looked so peaceful. So I'm like, I had to check her pulse because I'm like, is she sleeping? Wait a minute, let's make sure, you know. And so, yeah, she was, but she was just so peaceful. She looked so peaceful. And so that was that. I ended up actually speaking at her funeral. And, I don't go to funerals anymore, just to protect my energy. So I kind of do my thing, you know, in my own space when a loved one or someone transition. And, because people think that, and my brother called that disrespectful when I didn't go to my grandfather, my maternal grandfather's funeral. But it was so much going on with that, deception and stuff that I wasn't even about to, for that reason and for the reason, I just don't go to funerals anymore. It's not disrespect, you know what I'm saying? And we got to get out of this whole, going to funerals and giving our loved ones remains, bodies over to these institutions. Because, for us that know what they're doing to these bodies, we know, right? So, that's for me, that's disrespectful, that we don't know how to tap into our own customs and traditions when dealing with, our loved ones transitioning. That's disrespectful. That's dishonoring. So, anywho, um, 5 days after that, I assisted with the birth of my niece, my second niece. I have three now, okay? And that was very joyous. I would go, during that time before, my grandmother transitioned. I remember taking my sister to the park. We met at the park or whatever. And, I would walk with her, you know. I remember bringing some fruit, and I think I had a salad, a kale salad. She ate that up. I wasn't bringing it for her, but because I do share, she ate it. Of course, I would give it to her because she's with child. And I would do, have her doing. I had my rebozo cloth, and I would have her doing squats. Flat-footed squats. She was like, "Oh man, all the way down." I said, "Yeah, all the way down." Of course, with the rebozo cloth, I had a way of helping her, supporting her in that down and up. So we did that. So anywho, this was a couple days before she went into labor. So she goes into labor. She goes into the hospital. She was 1.5 centimeters dilated. You have to get to 10, to be ready to go to the next phase, um, which is the birth of the baby. So when I got to the hospital, my mother was there and my niece and nephew was there. And so I went to work. I'm like, come on, baby. You know, I was doing some things with her. My thing is movement. You gotta move, you gotta move, you gotta move. This ain't about laying around like a couch potato, you know. What you say? You said the C word, contraction? Let's go, let's move, baby. So they wanted to discharge her because she was only 1.5 centimeters dilated, and they can't do nothing with that. And I told her, I said, you want them to do that because you don't want them to start doing other things to you, unnatural, to force you to have the baby. So it's okay. Her and my mom was a little disgruntled about that. And I'm trying to tell them that it's okay. I said, I'm going to be with her. I'm not going to leave her side. And we're not going to go far if they discharge her before she had this baby. We're not going to be far because when I'm done with her, she's going to be having the baby. So basically, it was summertime. We're just going to be right outside the parking lot over there with the trees and the grass in the back over there. Okay, walking, okay, and squatting and moving and doing things, okay? That's all we're going to be. So I told her, I said, don't worry. I'm not going to leave your side. I'm going to be right here. You know, they couldn't hear me. They couldn't understand, understand what I was saying to them. All they were about, oh, they discharging her. Why they discharging her? She in pain. She in pain. It is not about pain. It's not about her being in pain. She's not ready to have the baby. And we can deal with pain management naturally. Okay? We got to go with the flow of things. You see, me as a doula, this is what I know innately to do and also train to do, know how to do. So it's like, come on now, you got to hear me. So anyway, um, my mother was leaving with my other, my niece and nephew, and I went outside to get my sister things. I come back in, she's on the edge of the bed, two nurses on the side of her, and she's screaming and hollering, talking about, I want my sister, I want my sister. Ah, ah. I'm like, what in the world's wrong with her? She was like, they discharging me. I said, okay, calm down. She was like, they need to check me again because somewhere she just hollering, screaming. And so, before this time, I had did a lot of work with her. We had did a lot of movement. I did a lot of, comfort measures with her. And she went through that phase of, going to the bathroom, things started moving internally, which let me know that, the birth is progressing. So I come back in and she's screaming and hollering, wanting them to check her again, check her again, check her again. These nurses looking like, oh my God, check this girl one more time before we get rid of her. They had the discharge papers in their hands. So they checked her And they was like, they both their it was hilarious. I'm just standing back, just a grin on my face, just calm, cool, and collected. And they mouths dropped on the floor. They was like, she's 9.5 centimeters. Oh my God. They didn't know what to say. And they was like, oh my. She was like, see, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. So they went on, got her ready, for labor, for birth. Got her set up for birth. So I called, my mom, and I was like, she's ready for birth. And she was like, huh? Uh-huh. She was like, oh, well, okay, I'm still in the parking lot. The parking lot was kind of big, not that big, but it was like 15, 20 minutes. How you still in the parking lot? My mom drives slow. So it's like, you still in the what? So she turned around, came back, and actually they allowed her and my niece and nephew to be in the delivery room. So, I was there by her side, my sister, coaching her or whatever. And my daughter, my niece was born. Okay, Miriam, my girly girl. So, yeah, that was a beautiful thing. So, however, not just being a birth doula, I didn't know that I was being what is called a transitional doula with my grandmother. I didn't even know then anything like that existed. But, that's what I was doing, you see, with my grandmother. And then I turned around and, you know, assisted with bringing birth, you know, into this physical plane. So that's a beautiful thing, Ashe, you know? Um, and that was something when I found out about transitional doula, that was something that I looked into. And I'm like, okay, that is most definitely something that I think that us as doulas should also be doing. We should at least understand what that is, you see, because this is spiritual, you know. Um, there's a spiritual side to this. And some of us has been called to do this. This is not something we just decided to do because we want to make money. So we go through the didactics, and get the little licenses and things. And then we work in doing this. Some of this is a spiritual calling. And it most definitely is my spiritual calling. Okay. Um, and just, whew, the journey, the journey, the journey. You just have to be thankful for the journey. Wow, you just have to be thankful for the journey. So anyway, today, Monday, is ruled by the moon. Moon, the moon represents the number two. Two, dealing with balance, duality, uh, partnerships. Okay. On this 27th day of May 2024, which all equals, it reduces to, or adds up to 27, then adds to a 9. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I done lost my little focus here. So the 27 is the 9. Okay. All right. The 9, the number of endings. And we know with endings, there's new beginnings. So, you know, Although people are in great sorrow. Why can't I say that word? That's the second time I've done that. Sorrow and grief over losing things and things and people coming to an end, we have to understand the duality of that, the spiral of that, that endings bring in new beginnings, okay? That whole thing that I said about understanding that everything happens for your good, okay? If you accept that like that. So with this whole May 27, 2024, that is a 22, okay? We're dealing with the twos again there. All right, and 22 is also a master number. That's the master builder right there. And that reduces down to 4. 4 is dealing with foundational things, protection, um, stability. Um, the fourth house is Cancer. Moon is Cancer. Okay, so the fourth house is the house of home and family. Okay, thinking about this journey that this spiral journey that I've been on for the past 4 years now. I think the end of June would officially be 4 years, but we near that, so I'm gonna say 4 years. Um, that was, I think, most definitely the longest of my spiral journal, and the most challenging because it was a radical one. It was one where I went through and I didn't turn back to my old, you know, um, habits and ways, um, that, cycles that I was going through, didn't know, repeated, toxic cycles that I didn't know, that I didn't even understand. But this one most definitely was for me to understand and understand it all, okay, so that I can see what not to do, okay, what to do and what not to do, okay. Um, so during that time, I got into tarot. That's when that was, introduced to me by spirit, you know, amongst other things. Yeah, so it was, ooh, mm-mm-mm. And being, celibate during that time as well, purging a lot of things and purging a lot of people. It was massive. It was most definitely radical. I have to most definitely say. So, energetically, that's what we're dealing with here, okay? And then when I doing, tapping into numerology with the 4 years, that's 1,461 days, okay? Which is, when you add all that up, that's a number 12. And then that's a number 3. So that's dealing with Jupiter energy, okay? Which is through Sagittarius and Pisces energy. So the threes refers to creative. That refers to the creative communicator. Okay, in connection to the spiritual realm. Jupiter aligns with what? Good fortune, wisdom, joy, success, abundance. And this connection supports positive traits such as being optimistic, adventurous, lucky, ambitious, passionate, knowing, and being clever. Okay, 3 also could be associated with Gemini, okay, which is ruled by the planet Mercury. We are in Gemini season, Gemini the twin, and Gemini represents adaptability, curiosity, vers- uh, versatility, and people associated with number 3s can be imaginative, spontaneous, and a natural gift for communication. Okay, enthusiastic, and the ability to find beauty in all things. You see, that's that whole thing. With even the challenges, you find the good in it. Okay, They have great social spirit. They're sincere, understanding thinkers, and typically makes wise decisions. Okay, very spiritual and or religious, and always surrounded with elders, teachers, gurus. That can be either spiritually and or physically. Okay. Um, they can be good mediators who solve others' problems, positive thinkers, and their aura is full of positivity. Okay. They share their knowledge, they give happiness to those near and dear to them, and they just love sharing. Okay. They are loyal, they are trustworthy, and they keep away from bad habits. All right. Now, that, and I link that, to me because of the 4 years of my spiral journey. Okay. And we also looking at the fours too. Very interesting. And twos. So, but also predominant Sagittarius. I have predominant Sagittarius and Gemini placements in my natal chart. Okay. Especially Sagittarius. I'm not going to share where that is. Okay. But that's where I'm at right now. Okay. That's where I'm supposed to be at. So, you know, that's most definitely significant. So that was a lot. That was a lot. So with that being said, I would like to pull one oracle card just to see what messages. I would like to pull one, but sometimes spirit has their own thing, and I'm cool with that. But like I said before, I don't do this. I'm not looking to monetize, you know, with YouTube by doing these, or placing these recordings, I have to say, on YouTube. I have a specific reason why I do it, that I don't, I'm not going to share, because I just know that a lot of people are on here that are, they don't have good intentions. So a lot of things that I won't say on here. Okay. But this is an outlet, creative expression for me, and also to work on my throat chakra. Okay. My oral skills, speaking up, speaking out. Okay. And also to record my gifts, or this being one of them, so that when I'm long gone in the physical realm, that my posterity, my heirs that come thereafter, they can see this. Okay. Because I have some pardon me, I was listening to something. I have some grands that I don't even know of. I don't even have pictures of them. I don't even know what they were about or anything. And I know that a lot of these gifts that that's been bestowed upon me, they come from my ancestors. So they can see that, yeah, I had an ancestor that did that. They did that. They'll be able to not only see me, but hear my voice. Therefore, feeling my energy. and give them love, from the ethers and support and guidance. Okay. Now, if, you know, spirit decides otherwise, then I will act on that at that time. But now, as of right now, I'm not looking to monetize on YouTube with this. So, those of you that have good intentions, that hear my voice and able to, uh, that I'm able to kind of encourage and give light to from whatever I may be saying, maybe something resonates with you, then, you know, hey, I'm congratulating, I'm proud for you. I'm happy for you. But other than that, yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get that clear. So let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, storms. Number 13. Message of storm patterns. Okay. Ooh. Look at. Queen Nefertiti, the goddess of alchemy. I can look at this as the master builder. Okay? Yeah. The master at building from the foundation. We own the twos, we own the fours. Okay? Building up, tearing down what's old and not serving our highest good to build back up. Queen Nefertiti. Ashe. Number 38. 11. Oh, wow. We got the psychic master right here, too. 11 and 22. Interesting. So, she has the Ankh holding her, staff with the Ankh. Very powerful. Okay. The energy of Ra over her crown. Alchemist. So this is the temple of conjurers, okay? And the temple of conjurers, oh no, my apologies. She's the temple of queens. My apology. What a temple of, okay. Yeah, got her mixed up with somebody else. So she's the temple of queens, okay? Now, the queens in this goddess deck are insightful historic rulers, okay? And the queens align with the third eye. This is the high priestess energy right here, okay? With their energetic color frequency being the indigo and purple, okay? Wow. Very powerful. So now, Nefertiti is the element of fire. Okay.